go get them again.
Welcome back to the channel, and to all the new faces out there, welcome to the Robezoid channel. I'm your host, Mark. Now, I haven't started the video, but there is going to be some good content here. So I put a lot of work. This is not just a Valentine's Day kind of thing that, you know, someone just puts together in 5 seconds. I put a lot of thought and effort into this, and you're going to see that in this video. We got different segments. We got boozy fragrances to gourmand fragrances to chocolate-based ones, right? You kind of need one of those. And gentlemanly, smooth fragrances, animalic fragrances, and we can't forget the seductive ones. And to, of course, our rose-based fragrances. And last but not least, I do have the ultimate Valentine's fragrance at the end of this video. So keep it tuned in. Now, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. I don't do lists. You can go check out the channel. I haven't done lists in years. I'm one of the OG fragrance reviewers that I started top 10 lists, and I have nightmares at night that I started that trend. Oh God. Too many people. I should have put, I should have signed it in that I need royalties every time somebody does a top 10 list. And if you do it with, you know, with affiliate links, that I can shut you down. Man, that would have been nice. But let's get back to this Valentine's Day video. Now, why have I not done one of these? I haven't done one of these since 2009, ever. I haven't done one of these on my channel, but we're going to start something new in 2025. Let's see if people are interested in this kind of stuff. Now, what's the reasoning behind this? Of course, a lot of influencers are going to use, you know, your Christmas Day video and, you know, Valentine's Day, any excuse to make a video. I'm sure there's videos out there for Mother's Day and Father's Day, I'm sure, for sure. But I'm going to be a fragrance reviewer that's honest. First of all, there's no affiliate links in the description below. I don't have a coupon code to sell you. And I put myself in your shoes. I've made a mega list because everybody's different. Some people may say, oh, boozy fragrances for Valentine's. And I'd probably be in that sector that would be like, that's not probably the kind of scent profile I want to go on Valentine's. I'd go a little more romantic, the romantic in me. So, but if you could take something out of this video, and you could shut it off right after I say this, but this video is for the people that think that this event is important, Valentine's Day, and it is, depending on where your beliefs are. I think personally, Valentine's Day is very, you know, we always talk about fragrances being very, you know, it's about your taste, very subjective, right? My list is not going to look like Buddy's, and so on and so forth. Like all these people that talk about sexy this and panty dropper that. Garbage, absolute garbage. A compliment factor, garbage. Everybody's different. You say, oh, Sauvage Elixir is a huge compliment getter. Okay, for you. I say Chergui is a huge compliment factor. Have you even heard of Chergui? Do you even know what it is? Exactly. So, sexy this, garbage. Don't overcomplicate things. You know what Valentine's is all about? As far as scent goes, it doesn't have to be rose-based. It doesn't even have to be chocolate-based, right? Those are the things that are kind of stigma in your mind. Just make it personal. It's super easy. Make it personal. You're with this person that you love. Wear something that's important to both of you. Wear something that you both love. You know, and it's not universal, right? You see these Valentine's Day lists, and everybody is going to like name maybe the same fragrance because they all have the same affiliate link. It's not hard. That's it. And I find it funny with some of these videos. You know, these are the best. These are the sexiest. These are, come on, garbage, right? So one thing that you can take out of this video, super personal. And I think personally, Valentine's Day, if you're going to spend time with a special person, I don't think you should take any influencer's advice. Go back to your home. Go back to your roots, and see if there's a personal fragrance that maybe you haven't worn in a while with that special person that bought you maybe something for Christmas 5 years ago. They remember when you wear it. They remember. So keep that in mind. So this one right here, this list is for people that maybe can't make those decisions. It's hard. If you're extremely lost, I'll try to guide you a little bit. Not sure what to do. I'll give you some suggestions. And I think this is the ultimate Valentine's Day list. Why? Because we're going to do it in like 5 or 6 part segments here. I got boozy-based fragrances for certain people. Gourmand, of course, we're going to have some chocolate-based ones. To really smooth high-end ones, designer and niche, to animalic, right? To the animals out there. I see ya. We can't forget the seductive ones, the smooth, seductive, maybe a little sweet ones, to, of course, the rose-based fragrances. But, and of course, I have this one. And then it's not my personal choice, but I think it's one of the best ones for Valentine's. So I put a little bit of me in it. My taste, of course, right? You're not going to see Sauvage in here. You're not going to see the newest Mal elixir. I'm not trying to sell you anything. So let's start this off. Let's get into it. Now, we're going to start with Boozy because it's the one that I relate the less to. I don't even know why I added this but I think it's the least attractive segment to me. So I'm going to have 4 or 5 suggestions. And this may be for that guy that's like single. He's going out to the bar on Valentine's Day, not super romantic. You're looking for a good night, period. Now, the Boozy fragrances, depending on your partner, may be seductive to your partner. And again, that's what I mean. Like, it's very subjective. So let's start it off. We're going to start designer here, and this is from Mugler. This is Pure Malt. This thing had a hype back in the day. I'm showing my age, yes. A discontinued fragrance, of course. There's going to be tons of those in this list. Why? My taste is my taste, and my collection is my collection. Rule number 1 on my lists. I need to have a bottle because if I'm going to suggest something, I better like it enough that I'm going to spend my own money on it. And trust me, what's behind me, I spent my own money on it. This is not free 99 kind of stuff that your favorite influencer does. So going back to Pure Malt. This one, fruity, boozy, whiskey, woods, a little sweet, some patchouli in here, of course, from the Amen DNA. It's one of the best designer releases in the 2000s with a boozy touch. The hype was real back in the day on this one and would be perfect for a night out. It also has that cozy and comfortable vibe as well, which is super important when wearing a boozy fragrance like this. A good one from Mugler. Now next we're going to step it up a notch in the boozy segment of things. We are going to go niche, and this is from Nasomato, and this is Baranda. Now Baranda is a step up from Pure Malt, I'll be honest. Beautiful presentation. I love the cap on this one. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. But Baranda, a step up from the Mugler, yes. This one is also whiskey, woods, but also adds rose to it. Perfect. It brings up the boozy aspect from Pure Malt, but also brings up the class as well for a boozy scent. It's actually quite boozy, but it's at the same time, it's classy. It also has like that wheat light aspect to it, sticky amber, perfect if you're going out to play pool with the boys as well. I know many women that actually wear this one too, so if you find a woman that wears this, you found yourself a winner keeper. that's just my thoughts. Baranda from Nasomato. We're moving on to something a little more, it's still niche, but a little more hard to find. But still, a jewel in my collection. This is Idole. Eau de Toilette, the EDT. So there is an EDP version of this, so don't be confused with that. Yes, it has the cool, like kind of like African head kind of thing going on. This one, we're not going whiskey, we're going rum. Ebony woods, saffron, leather. Does that sound good to you? Because it sure does to me. It's very dark, but it's warm, it's comfortable, it's boozy. One of my hidden gems in my collection, and I don't wear this one often. It's off to the side here, and sometimes with a collection of 4,000 bottles like I do, and growing, because these all have to be unboxed up here. Yeah, if you're new here, yeah, I'm a fragrance head. Things like this that are super great, like outstanding, get a little bit of dust on them, unfortunately. Now next, talking about hidden gem, this one's between me and you though, okay? This is super hidden gem. We can't talk about it outside the Robzoid channel. You can't tell other influencers about this. This one is called Established Cognac by Kriegler. Now I did hype this one up back in the day, way back in the day. And now I kind of kept quiet on it just because, we'll put it beside Idole because those two. So as far as booziness goes, This is my wild card. It's my secret weapon. It has, it's gourmand a little bit. It has that caramelic hue. It's woody, it's sweet, it's warm, it's spicy, but it has that dry, boozy cognac with oak. I can smell even some chocolatey aspects as well. By far, the most realistic boozy release out of this list that I've ever smelled in my life, actually. So, period. This is a stunner. But, again, it's our secret, okay? That one, hard to find. They don't have the hugest distribution, Kriegler. So you're going to have to look around, but one of the best boozy. Like if I had a top 10 boozy, probably number one. I would, if I was a betting man, I would put my money on that one. Now let's go into the gourmand section, right? We got 4 boozy ones. That's enough. Let's go gourmand. Let's start it off with, which one are we going to start off with? What do we got here that's near my hand here? Jean-Claude Elena, my favorite perfumier of all time. If you don't know me, I used to boast about Jean-Claude Elena all the time. This one called Vetiver Tonka. Now this one, not as gourmand or as great as my famed Ambre Narguilé that I absolutely love from Elena and Hermes Essence. However, this one had its proper hype on YouTube back in the day. I'm showing my age, yes. If your woman loves vetivers and she likes sugar cookies, this is it. This combo is absolutely stunning. It smells like a vetiver sugar cookie. It's woody, it's sweet. It shows the nutty aspect of vetiver, which is rare these days. So Elena did his thing here with this one. Obviously, it has a little bit of those earthy, rooty qualities of vetiver. One of the best from Elena and his Hermes Essence line. You know, a lot of them are great. They're well composed, all of them. However, there's just a few of them that I'm just like, oh, it's more my taste. So Vetiver Tonka are really good gourmand. Your woman needs to like vetiver though. Next, Tonka bean. Now I could go with my favorite Tonka bean of all time, Tonka Imperial from Guerlain, which is over here somewhere. There it is, backup bottles back here somewhere. Why did they discontinue that? Well, yeah. But this one's from Christian Dior, and this is Fève Délicieuse. And it's had its love too. I've always stated that this is my number 2 Tonka bean behind, of course, Tonka Imperial. Now, Fève Délicieuse, délicieuse means delicious in French. And keeping with the Tonka theme here, let's go with this one. I've always said Tonka Imperial is the best. It's the best Tonka bean on the market. Prove me wrong. If you're new to this channel, prove me wrong. Send me recommendations. I don't care. I'm a huge recommendation guy. I love discovering. That's what it's all about. I'm not the expert here. I don't boast being the expert. I'm just telling you my journey and what I like. And you go with it. But Fève Délicieuse is right behind it. It's number 2. Spicy vanillic touches. It's got that cherry nuance that Tonka bean is known for. The almond nuance as well. I'm looking for a 3-dimensional Tonka bean. This is on the short list of it. It even has a little bit of a chocolatey hue, so good for Valentine's, right? One of the best gourmands in the Dior lineup, absolutely. Do we miss the Machi? A lot of people do. Now next, talking about Guerlain, I can't go without a Guerlain release in a big list like this. This one called Gourmand Coquet. Now, it's been repackaged, it's been renamed, yes, of course. However, I got the original, and it is gorgeous. It is one of the better gourmands in the game, now known as Fève Gourmand. Now, this has rum. It's got vanilla, so it could be in the boozy genre. It's got chocolate, it's got rose, all that wrapped into one. The stigma of wearing a chocolatey scent on Valentine's Day may ring true. And why not? This pulls a little bit of the boozy segments that we just tackled, but it's more gourmand than anything. It's gorgeous. It pulls a lot of different L'Art et la Matière releases that are some of my favorites, but goes in the gourmand section, a lot more into the gourmand section. An outstanding one from the House of Guerlain, and no wonder they brought it back. And ending our gourmand segment, we got to go with the Morning After. New Harlem. Yeah, I didn't forget about the Morning After, right? I'm details. I'm full of details. This one right here. New Harlem from Bond number 9. Not one of my favorite brands of all time. Absolutely not. Overpriced, star-shaped stuff that is super expensive that you could probably find in the designer aisle. Now, New Harlem, you could say, you know, you could go to Rochas Man or you could go to Michael Jordan Legend. And same perfumiers, same kind of theme. No, absolutely not. New Harlem is Maurice Roussel's one of his best. There's tons of Roussels in this list if you're paying attention. This is for the morning after. Just a little tip from me to you. You know, shower in the morning, throw on the most beautiful coffee, maple syrup, and pancakes mix right here. And I'm Canadian, so the maple syrup thing goes really well. You keep her in bed on the 15th, and it'll be round 2 all over again. Just a great segue to day 2. Mr. Roussel is a genius for this one. She's going to stay for day 2. New Harlem. Now we're going to take a little break on the gourmand section and we're going to go more into the designer. Let's throw out a couple designers your way that would do well in this setting. First and foremost, we're going to go with Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight in Paris. I have the Eau de Parfum edition, the EDP. There was an Eau de Toilette as well. Discontinued, sadly, but perfect name, bottle, scent profile for a Midnight in Paris with your favorite person. So the name, the bottle, the scent profile just screams Valentine's in France, in Paris. This is a beautiful tea, leather, tonka, resinous thing that is so smooth, but at the same time very alluring. Yes, it's more of a subtle scent profile, right? But you don't have to, and that's the one thing these days, everybody's looking for a longevity and projection beast, right? You gotta step into a room and everybody has to smell you. No, no, this is subtle, but for Valentine's, it's not about knocking the woman out with your scent profile, but actually pulling her closer to you. You know, this guy gets it. I'm sure there's somebody watching my video that goes, this guy's got it. It's not about engulfing her with your projection fog and thinking you're a man. It's to bring her closer. That's the whole prospect here. This is one of those that's going to do the job really well. Beautiful bottle, beautiful scent profile, beautiful everything. A great scent, Midnight in Paris. Moving on to something a little more rose-based. This is from D Squared. This is Potion Royal Black. And maybe a lot of you are going to be like, what is this? D Squared used to make really great scents. Used to. Now this is hard to find. It's a discontinued scent, of course. But when D Squared used to make really great scents, like the original Potion's awesome. And a lot of their wood series is great. Their early ones. They used to make excellent perfume. Now this one is a rose-based one, which makes all kinds of sense for this time of year, but it's a dark gothic one. You know, you need one of those. There's leather in here and there's incense. There's a reason why it's black. This one punched up its weight class in regards to quality versus price. One that unfortunately is very unique and perfect in the designer game. Didn't sell well, got discontinued. And next we have from Christian Dior. Can't do this list without a Dior release, can we? DHI. DHI, and this is my original bottle, so I'm actually wasting a spray here. Not happy about that. I picked the wrong bottle. I got 2 other ones, backups here. Should use those. Okay, DHI. Well, if you want something classy in the designer game, the Dior lineup is a step above everybody else. It's iris, it's ombre, it's lavender, and got a little bit of pear in here. It's got some woods, but it's the perfect designer release for a night out, high class, and a woman with great taste will enjoy something like this on you. It's not too childish, and it has a lot of class to it, and that's something, especially around my age now, Le Male Elixir just won't do. You gotta go with a little bit of class. The last one for this designer lineup from Yves Saint Laurent, and this is the original La Nuit de l'Homme. And when I mean original, this bottle right here, a lot of you would like to send me a DM right now and go, Mark, can I have your original launch bottle of La Nuit de l'Homme? No. Oh, this is a Seductive cardamom lavender with woods. I would pick this and the DHI, which are really popular. versus any of the shitty designer mainstream scents that your favorite reviewer is pushing at the moment in regards to sexy, seductive, compliment factor BS. Boom, boom, done. You're going in the past, but man, newsflash, people. The scent doesn't need to be brand new on the market to be a compliment puller, first of all. And second of all, it doesn't have to be popular right now. It doesn't. La Nuit was hyped at least 8 times within the fragrance community since I've been here, you know, by multiple reviewers. It started with me, then I went to J.R. Ryder, I went to Hero, among others. So it's done well, and probably one of the scents that actually stood the test of time in our fragrance community that lasted, you know, several hype trains. Like it would like slowly die a death in our fragrance community, and somebody would just hype it up and everybody would be on the bandwagon. La Nuit de l'Homme, the original, is still one of my staples, and especially for Valentine's Day, especially if you're going on a date, maybe a first date. It's Valentine's, it's a big day, right? You know, you don't want to go too crazy, right? You don't want to go too boozy. Depending, if you don't know the person that well, you might turn them off. Too sweet, too boozy. I'm going to go next is going to be Animalic. Don't go there. Whoa. Designer is a good way to go. And this kind of stuff, right? Depending, it'll be a safe choice for you. You kind of almost have to go a little safer, but still have a little bit of that air of seduction. It's always a roll of the dice. Scent, of course, the way you dress and the way you groom yourself, things like that. You never know. And you'll get to know that person, but I think those would be the safer ones out of this list. Now, moving way out of that comfort zone, and my favorite, animalics and musky fragrances. Oh yeah. Now, we're going to start with Zing from L'Artisan Parfumeur. Now this one, oh, there's a reason why there's a lady riding a tiger on here. Is that a tiger? Right, she's riding something. She's riding something. Pause. Now, Zing. My God, that's good. Possibly my favorite L'Artisan Parfumeur release of all time. A brand that is completely lost in this fragrance community now. Nobody's talking about L'Artisan. They're not giving out free bottles. Why would they? But when I first started on YouTube, like Tea for Two, Zing, and stuff like that, oh, man, what a time. There's a reason why a woman is riding a tiger on my bottle. Why? Because it's a balance of sweet notes, spices, daring notes, and it kind of reminds me, like people say that it reminds them of a night at the carnival. And yeah, it's got a little bit of that animalic touch, but just enough to keep me interested. There's leather in here, so there's that animalic leather, ginger, saffron, woods, iris, complexities through the roof with this fragrance. The blend is as great as a blend as that I've smelt within my journey, honestly. It reminds me of a horse stable a little bit without the poop. The hay, there's maybe some apples on the ground because there's an apple note in here. Horses, animalic, some candy on the ground as well. You know, maybe some caramel popcorn. Zing, man. Oof. You know, not the most animalic fragrance of all time. You know, there's some that are really, you know, civet and castoreum and naming off. Some of them are really pungent and barnyardy and all that. But this isn't. This is just artistic. Zing is absolutely perfect for this animalic musky side of things. Next is from the house of Tom Ford. And you'd be animalic musky. Whoa, what? Urban Musk. And this is a jewel that I've been searching for a long, long time. Actually, I don't even know if I did my unboxing first impression yet on Urban. Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? You're gonna get a little taste here today of Forgotten Tom Ford that gives you a musky honey treatment. It has that indolic jasmine to start you off, a little interesting honey touch, little caraway, and it has a little bit of an animalic touch. Some people with musk are going to smell this and it's going to be super funky on them. For me, it's not super funky. It's just perfectly blended. It has a little bit of a resinous touch, hence the color in here. Gorgeous. Maybe a little less personality than some of the more flamboyant fragrances that I'm going to put on this Animalic musky list, but sometimes less is more. And this would be, you know, almost as close of a skin scent that I could go with. And there's nothing wrong with not wearing perfume at all on Valentine's. That is something, you know, go light-handed, things like that. Sometimes the person, you know, on the other side of you wants to smell you. Your own little funk. Next is from Dusita, and this is Oud Infini. And I got this bottle last year, I think. Well, it's been sitting for a few years, waiting to get unboxed, but finally got unboxed. But Oud Infini, we're gonna have a Oud Rose kind of combo, and I think this is one of the better ones in the game. Turn up the funk a little bit. You're gonna get real dirty with this one, with that civet. Oh, that civet gets your attention a little bit. Oh, yes, it does. Ooh, yes. Rose is there, and so is the oud, but the mashup makes it one of the more daring rose ouds that I have in my collection and in this list. You need one of these in your list, but this will be mine. Discontinued, unfortunately, but I think I haven't smelled too many Ducitas, but you know, this is simply gorgeous. You know, the last one of the Animalic musky can go in this next list, which is going to be Seductive. This one could have went in several different ways, but this is Muscat by Maurice Roussel, and one of my favorite fragrances of all time, by the way. Just by the way. Muscat is not everybody's taste, but oh, is it mine? As much as Roussel has done great scents, this could be my number one. I think it's my number one. Since I've smelt this on my channel back in 2010, this has not moved as one of the most mysterious, sensual, sexual releases in fragrances. A beautiful scent. Anyone in this fragrance journey that tells me this is one of their favorites, we almost become like immediate friends. Any women out there suggesting that they love this scent on men, or they're wearing it themselves, makes me think that there's a little bit of a bad girl in there somewhere. Apply carefully. This one is dangerous. But I think it has that excellent blend of that it's seduction and scent profile. It really is kind of a hard line to toe, but Maurice Roussel did it with Muscat here. Now, moving on to the Seductive section, which Muscat could have been in it. Let's go into this one right here. This could be like high class seduction kind of thing. This is YSL's Tuxedo. And Tuxedo, of course, put the high-end YSL line, Le Vestiaire, I believe was the name of them, the Privé line, on the map. They released a lot of stuff before this, but not really with that kind of traction. Now, Tuxedo's patchouli, ambers with a great balance with violet leaf. Dress it up or down, does not matter. It has that air of beauty in this reason that the YSL Privé line is being talked about is because of this fragrance. The balance here is beautiful. Highly unisex for me as well. So ladies, don't be scared of the Tuxedo name. Actually, a woman wearing this, wearing a, let's say like a suit with an undercut of some sort, like kind of, she has a little bit of edge to her, would be perfect. This is a very safe scent profile, I say, in the community, but a well done one, Tuxedo. Or we're running out of room. I need two of these now, obviously. Next. Ooh, this scent makes Tuxedo look kind of wimpy. This is Chergy from Uncle Serge. Chergy. Now, if you haven't smelled Chergy, what are you... Even my stem is brown now. That's how old my juice is. It is a Palais sticker as well. It's very old. Chergy. Oh, yeah, Tuxedo doesn't stand a chance beside this thing. Wow. And I'm just being honest. Ambery, dry hay note, sweet, tobacco, honey, woods. Blending, perfect. Elegant, 100%. Timeless, oh yeah. This Musky Ravageur remind me of my early days, like early 20s, Mark, that couldn't grow a beard, as my two staples. And I haven't changed too much. Just like Musky Ravageur, this one is a dangerous one. Wear it carefully with the right person. Oh. Always my first suggestion when someone is just getting into discovering Serge fragrances, Chergy is my number one recommend fragrance for that brand. Next is from Chanel. I don't have too many Chanels, as you can tell. And there's none coming up, I think. This is the only one. This one called Cuir de Russie. Cuir de Russie, the Russian leather-based fragrance from Chanel. I don't mean Chanel doesn't have many Valentine's Day. There's tons of them. This list could have went on and on. I could make like 500 bottles. Cuir de Russie. This is the Russian leather of the Chanel lineup. And they just knocked it out of the park. Oh, man, did they. I just picture a Russian seductive spy, a woman, wearing this. She was trying to kill you and you guys fell in love. This scent is as dangerous as she is, but you just don't care. Just a perfect Chanel floral mashup. You know, the beautiful Chanel florals that you know and love, and you know, some of the best in the game. Some people say the best in the game, with a smoky, leathery, Russian leathery touch. And that birch scent profile, beautiful, absolutely. You know, Chanel quality, right? This one, outstanding. Now, moving on to Maison Franciscaise, and this one called Grand Soir. You're gonna have a big night, yeah. Hopefully, you're gonna have a big night. Grand Soir. The name says it all. It's going to be a big night for you. Ambery, vanillic, lavender, some resins in here. It's warm, it's sweet. It has that beautiful standard niche ambery glow that is just simple. But looking at face value, yeah, it is simple, but you know, sometimes that's all you need. Don't complicate life. Just have a Grand Soir. Perfect. Grand Soir. Now looking next is by Kilian. It's the first bottle I purchased from the brand. Back to Black. This had a hype back in the day, if you didn't know. And again, our fragrance community, right, oversaturated of new releases. Nobody's going back like these new reviewers. Do any of these new reviewers know about Musky Ravageur, Chergy, Back to Black, things like that? Or are they just like going from, you know, what's popular today? If so, they're missing out on a huge... I love my generation of perfumery, at least to me. Back to Black, a Valentine staple, sweet, honeyed, tobacco, tons of powder. It's powdery. A lot of people won't like that. And tons of red fruits as well. My first love of by Kilian, and that has a special piece, kind of like Chergy and Musky Ravageur, but just not as good as those two, honestly. A great one from by Kilian, though. Even though I give this brand a hard time, you know, on price versus quality and what they give out, this is one of the polarizing ones, but a great one. When you get this release and you get it, you know, it clicks. It's a great one. Back to Black. Now, next is Upscale Smooth, which is a genre that I feel is just straightforward. Sometimes, for me personally, with any occasion, sometimes just quality trumps everything. Doesn't matter if it has rose or chocolate or boozy or it's, you know, trying to be like, even in Christmas time, you'll still have these upscale smooth fragrances that just work. And what do I mean by that is, let's look at the first one, Santal Musk from Narciso de Rodriguez. I'm not going to spray this because I actually decanted this. So this is one of the bottles that, this is all my personal collection, except for this. I decanted this so it's empty, but I could still smell the atomizer. And it has that smooth, woody sandalwood. Simple, elegant, easy to wear, and it's one of the best in the game. And it just gives the user a simple sandalwood. With the signature Narciso de Rodriguez musk backing it, you're winning. It's a great one. Next, talking about smooth, this one's smooth as well, and it's from Joe Malone, and this is Myrrh and Tonka. Now this, of course, is from my personal collection, so I could spray it. Myrrh and Tonka is, talking about smooth, great transition from Santal Musk to this. You go from woody sandalwood to a myrrh and tonka release. And just a great 1-2 punch of myrrh and tonka. Smooth, smoky. The tonka shows really smooth facets, while the myrrh gives you like a little bit of that brown personality, like Dr. Pepper-ish, like cola kind of vibe, like that brown hue that a resin like that would give you. The best of the brand for me personally at the moment, but an excellent one from Joe Malone, and really worthy of an upscale smooth Valentine's Day fragrance. Now, talking about smooth, not much of a smooth name here. Effin' Fabulous from Tom Ford. Now this one, mislabeled, sort of, kind of. You got like that crass name. Like not everybody likes the name, right? But the scent inside, forget the name. Powdery, creamy lavender, like one of the best, like really good lavender. And a really good tonka bean. Like the tonka bean almonds in here are beautiful, and you get a little bit of a suede-like leathery nuance. As crass as the name is, it's true. You do smell kind of effing fabulous. This one's really, really good. Classy scent from Tom Ford. Talking about Tom Ford, another one that I've decanted that I can't spray, but I can smell, is Vanilla Sex. And talking about, crass names, you're going right beside your buddy here. First of all, a great 1-2 punch for the man and for the woman. If you're wearing this together on Valentine's Day, perfect combo. Why? Well, Vanilla Sex is kind of like effing fabulous. They're really close cousins, at least to my nose. This one is more vanillic-centric, hence the name, obviously, but they both have this classy nuance to them. They both have that exact same tonka bean facets, in my opinion. So if the man's wearing effing fabulous and the woman's wearing Vanilla Sex, or vice versa, that's a great combo. And if you both own it, maybe I'm giving you a good idea. Now, moving on to two Guerlains. We're going to start with one. This one called Lui. Now, Lui, very classy scent. This one utilizes benzoin for its vanillic touches, but also has cloves. It's classy. And it was such a bargain when I bought this. I bought this for under $100 when they hit discounters hard. But it has that Guerlain quality that many of the L'Art et la Matière releases have for a huge discount. It's soft. It has a little bit of gourmand aspects. It has nutty aspects. It has ambery glow. It's creamy. And it's just high-end smelling. And sometimes that's all you need. Something very simple like Lui. Moving on to L'Art et la Matière. And this is Iris Ganache. Now this one. Oh, one of my favorites. Zoop with the old school La Matière bottle. Iris Ganache. Possibly one of the best irises that I've smelled in my life. Beautifully buttery, creamy, powdery, a little gourmand. They do say white chocolate is in here. And if you close your eyes real hard, you can smell that white chocolate. A little bit of spices, but all kinds of class here. One of the better Guerlain releases, and I'm not kidding. And I bought this from a fragrance reviewer that was getting out of the game. You might know him, Hero, if you're a huge fan of the YouTube community and you've been here since the start. Hero got out of the game and he was selling that, and I'm so happy I bought it off him because I absolutely love it. Next is a man's fragrance here, in this one called Invasion Barbare by Parfum MDCI. And is this list long enough? Is it good enough? Let me know in the comments below. I think I'm hitting all subjects here. Rose is coming up. It's one of the last ones. It has to be. Invasion Barbare. The most upscale, gentlemanly scent profiles on this list. Not carnal, not gourmand at all. Just straight up classical upscale gentleman. Lavender runs through the veins of Invasion Barbare, with cardamom and violet leaf being its 2-3. With a name like that, you'd expect maybe a leader of the army, right? Invasion Barbare, but this is more of a modern type. The leader in the boardroom, well put together, makes the decisions, and smells like a real man. And this one right here, Invasion Barbare, a great one. Talking about class, from Amouage, this one right here, Reflection Man. Now, Reflection Man, yeah, don't be jealous. I have the non-magnetic cap. Yes, I do. Reflection Man. Classy, yes. And obviously that's why it's in the smooth category. It's clean, it's classy, and it gives you confidence. The jasmine is your main player with some neroli and sandalwood in here. It smells like you're freshly showered. You just put on a clean, pressed white dress shirt, ready to tackle the day. Reflection Man is just clean. It's a beautiful, beautiful scent from Amouage. Next and lastly from this clean high-end lineup, we got to go with some designer, Prada L'Homme. Prada's clean. Prada is the king of clean in the designer game. Prada L'Homme is built upon iris and neroli and violet. Gives you that same aura as a Reflection Man, personally, but a different blend, a different category, right? A designer way, but one of the best from the Prada line. Clean, classy, squeaky clean scent profile. And this is where it goes to just, you smell like straight up soap. And sometimes this is your best bet on Valentine's Day, right? If you don't want to take any risks, you just smell clean. Now next is the big boy segment, which is Rose. We're finalizing this list, and hopefully you enjoyed this list. Rose, I probably have a couple hundred roses in my collection, but you know, kind of pinpoint like a few that I like here. I could go all day on the roses, but I was trying to figure out like some that maybe are a little spicier, a little more green, a little more watery, maybe a jammy rose. Those are all things that come into play with Rose as a note, and it's a note that's as old as dirt. So this one right here, Oud Bouquet by Lancôme. Now it has a different bottle presentation. I got the old school one with the rose in the front. Beautiful scent profile. We got to make some room here. Can't even see the bottle. Now Oud Bouquet is more of the jammy rose aspect, and you're going to have like a rose oud combo, right? But this one is more about the praline and the rose and the vanilla. It's warm, it's deep, it's sweet, it's comforting. The jamminess here in the rose is probably one of the strongest ones in my collection. But with that praline combo, it's not duplicated anywhere. And the woods here, really good. But honestly, I'm still in love with the sweetness in here. It's a gorgeous scent. Beautiful one that really doesn't get talked much in your community. Now next from the house of Christian Dior, this one right here, there's several roses I could have picked, but this is Ambre Nuit. And yeah, you could tell me, hey, that's not a stereotypical rose-based scent. Lots of amber, right? The ambery glow, kind of like Grand Soir, but it has that rose, which is low primary, but it's there. And it's mixed in a pot by François Desmachy. Warm, complex, the amber base here almost goes into that boozy quality a little bit. Now, before people lynch me and say, hey, no, this doesn't smell like Grand Soir. No. Same family in regards to the amber glow, yeah, perhaps. Not as playful, yeah, I could see that. A great one from the Privé line that may be the best in the game. Ambre Nuit, a really, really good one. Next, from the house of Creed. Yeah, Creed's got a rose. A good one, too. This one is not, this one was decanted for me. It's Windsor. I do have the original bottle it came in, but it was a decanter, so I got on a spray bottle here. And this is, I've had this for a while now. Windsor. Oh, oh, this is invigorating. It's a fresh rose with gin and eucalyptus, which hits you right away. A very green, maybe one of the most underrated creeds of all time. This is good. Especially if you're in a warmer climate. You know, a lot of these too sweet, too dark, too resinous, too animalic, too gourmand. This is definitely a fresher take on a rose, and it's not as dense as a lot of this stuff here. So Windsor is a great alternative for warmer climates. Now moving on to something that's probably not best in warmer climates. It is called Rose Privé by the different company, which was penned by my favorite perfumier of all time, Jean-Claude Helena from Hermès fame. Yes, I have the old bottle, so yes, it has been reformulated, but Rose Poivrée, ooh, this could have went into the animalic side of things. Oh, the animalics in here are just perfectly blended. This possibly, I think, is my favorite Helena. I think so. There's a dewy rose in here, very thin rose, but it's very green, but it smells so authentic. It's probably the most authentic rose that I've smelt in my journey. That paired with a civet note, which gives it some animalic growl, really is the best 1-2 punch. Like rose and oud is always famous as they play together really well, but the civet and the rose in here, forget rose and oud, honestly. This is it. Now there's black pepper in here. Of course, it's called poivre. So there's a pepper in here. It gets lifted with the civet. The civet really helps it. There's coriander in here as well. Of course, Monsieur Helena is known for his work with cardamom and cumin and several different spices and herbs. He's really great with them. But in here, I think it's some of his best work. This has been reformulated, sadly. But what I have here in front of me, maybe the best rose on the market. Well, not on the market anymore, but the best rose in my collection. I haven't smelled anything better than this. And I feel bad for the rose that's following up here from Tom Ford, which is Rose Prick. Not on the level of Rose Privé. However, an excellent rose. Tom Ford has several roses in their portfolio. Rose, patchouli, and Szechuan pepper here. After smelling Rose Poivre, this may feel like a little bit of a joke entry as far as quality goes. It's such a big dip from the Helena, but this is not a joke entry. It's not. I do love a lot of the rose-based fragrance, and I could have picked like 4 or 5 of them in here easily, but Tom Ford has so many roses in their collection. But this one, this year, kind of when I was compiling this list, spoke to me. And maybe it was the pink bottle that spoke to me, but Rose Prick is a good one from Tom Ford. And another rose here from Le Labo, and this one called Rose 31. And talking about hypes back in 2010, 11, my good old days of YouTube. Rose 31 was the first Le Labo to be hyped in our community. It was the first Le Labo to be spoken about in our community. It was the first. And I miss those days because it was like so much discovery, so much excitement, right? Everybody had their own little path. Every reviewer was different. One guy would talk about Le Labo and the other guy would start talking about, Christian Dior's or Guerlain's and discovery, right? Rose 31 is a forgotten hype beast. Like nobody's talking about it now. My first Le Labo bottle and my first love of the brand. Now, Le Labo was very judgmental. I was like, oh, that's a hippie brand, there's not much going on with that brand, but Rose 31, this is a spicy rose. There's some cedar in here. There's some cumin and some earthy touches as well. Now, the cumin in here isn't too crazy, so don't worry about that. It's not super funky. It's got some earthy touches as well. Just a pleasant, spicy rose scent profile that just works. Rose 31, a great one from Le Labo. All right, now we're on our last 2 roses, one designer, one niche. Let's start with a designer. It is from the brand of Cartier, forgotten brand. Déclaration d'un soir, discontinued. However, I still can find it readily at discounters and stuff like that. Déclaration d'un soir. Possibly the best rose-based fragrance in the men's side of things. And I mean modern, right? I'm not talking about old school stuff. I'm talking about rose, black pepper, sandalwood, smooth. There's a watery rose back in this, but it has a little bit of bite. Perfect blending by Laurent. That's it, Laurent. But she's amazing. And honestly, she takes such a big page from Helena with spices in her scents. Like I see that a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if he influenced her a lot in her journey because I see a little bit of him in her creations. A great rose. One of the better, post-year 2000 rose-based fragrances in the men's aisle. One of the best in the game. Bring it back, Cartier. And lastly, from the rose segment, Portrait of a Lady, Dominique Rapillon. Frederic Malle could have had several fragrances in this list. They're well represented, but Portrait of a Lady, the staple rose. Rose, patchouli, incense, spicy, bold, complex, strong, very unisex as a fragrance. Just well done by Rapillon. Rapillon's a genius, often touted by many as one of the best Frederic Malles of all time. And that's a huge statement because it's a pretty pretty hefty lineup. There's some really good stuff. Like, I mean, when we're 20 years older, a lot of people are going to see a lot of the Frederic Malls as being touted classics. It's definitely in the talks. It's a very solid rose-based scent and possibly one of the best in the game. And that's why it's one of the last ones that I wanted to mention on this list, because Portrait of a Lady is absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, I got a small bottle. I should get a bigger bottle. And now, the ultimate Valentine's Day fragrance. So you kind of, for me personally, as a kind of artistic kind of guy, when I start, thinking about these, like, I don't just compile them and just, who's paying me so I could put them in the list. No, I start thinking, what would be the ultimate Valentine's Day scent? Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. And what do I mean by that? It's just putting rose and chocolate together. Now, chocolate's not in the note breakdown, but it's chocolatey patchouli in here. Putting it right there. Boom. Noir de Noir is Valentine's, I don't know, what's Valentine's without roses and chocolate? This has to be the ultimate Valentine's Day scent. Rose, patchouli, which is a chocolatey one, truffle with the earthiness. It pulls a little bit of black orchid, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And vanillic pieces. Unique, formal, unisex, blending, outstanding. The uniqueness is unquestioned. The patchouli goes chocolatey, which is exactly why people kind of think about this as the ultimate Valentine's Day scent. Beautiful rose and earthy truffle. It's Valentine's in a bottle. Yeah. Excellent scent from the House of Tom Ford. Those early year Tom Ford private blends are pretty dangerous. A lot of them are just, I feel like they're really, Tobacco Vanille, Tuscan Leather, this one, among others, really are great utility fragrances that I can wear a lot for different reasons, right? They really aren't super edgy, but they were at the time, I guess. Now there's a lot of pretenders and, dupes and stuff like that in our fragrance game, but back then, no one, except for Frederic Malle, I think Frederic Malle and Tom Ford in the year 2000s haven't, nobody else has done what they've done and released several fragrances at one time and be so successful with that initial launch. They are great. They are absolutely, and maybe I'm pumping Tom Ford a little too much. A lot of people don't like that Tom Ford because of their pricing. I don't know. This community is kind of weird these days, but, we all have our taste, obviously, but, you got to give them due. Tobacco Vanille, is massive. Tuscan Leather's massive. Amber Absolute. Moss Brèche is one of the most expensive fragrances on eBay. Purple Patchouli, Japon Noir, this, among others. What a great lineup from Tom Ford. So there you have it. You got a lot of choices here, a lot of different genres, a lot of segments that I said, like Gourmand and Animalic and stuff like that. A little bit of something for everybody. Different price ranges. I tried to get as many designers as I could. I know that my taste is a little different nowadays. That's why you got that specific designer lineup. A lot of discontinued fragrance, but I feel there's value there. If you're a fragrance head like I am, I will search out these fragrances. It doesn't mean they're gone forever. There is some out there. You just got to scour, you got to be patient, and you got to set your limits as far as how much you're going to pay for these type of fragrances. But at the end of the day, my Valentine's Day video to all of you. My thank you. Hopefully you're going to have a great time with the person you love. If you don't have that person, definitely rely on friends, family. Definitely don't just sit there. It doesn't mean, go out. Use one of these Boozy ones, go play pool with the boys or something like that. Have some fun. But if you do have that special person, the one thing I just want to suggest, forget everything that I just told you out of these and do exactly what I told you at the start of the video. Use the one scent that is special to both of you. This kind of stuff is just me. It's just me saying boobity boop. But hopefully it inspires you. You may see a bottle or something and you'd be like, oh yeah, MDCI, I have a bottle of that, my wife got me. Or, you might look at Chanel and be like, oh yeah, you know, like this one. Maybe I wouldn't get the Cuir de Lucie, but maybe Bois des Îles is more my speed. You know, those are things that we pull inspiration from each other. And that's really what this video is all about. Hopefully maybe your checklist of, you know, checking out new fragrances. You know, maybe Rose Poivrée is going to be one of your favorite rose-based fragrances. You're going to go try to search it out, things like that. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Now I got to go to editing room floor and edit this massive video. Hopefully it's not too long. Thanks for watching YouTube. Have a great Valentine's Day. Much love.